outdoor challenges.
We're dealing with Mother Nature, we just have to deal with it, guys. I mean, it's nothing. You can't change Mother Nature, and we should take care of them, right? We should really take care of the nature, right? Azad?
Yes.
Right? If you know the beaches, you know where to go. You will get some very nice views,
Of course, Highlanders, which is very near the university. For St. Bob.
Let's just appreciate Shah, wearing the whole Highlanders.
You look like
Outlanders.
have to try the apple slice pie. It's amazing.
My man is giving the whole menu.
This is
My man is giving
is
the
a
whole
local treasure. Yeah, it's not out of this world kind of like mind blown recipe, but for us, it fills the tummy and it feels like just home.
It will be like a full swing if one day I can just be a golf photographer instead of and enjoy the game that so many people misunderstood.
Because this was brought up by my friend, which is Amira Shakira. He asked me to ask Azhad that if Azhad, can you read other people's mind?
You're listening to CMSA Podcast, your one-stop for everything Malaysian in Christchurch and all over New Zealand. I am your host, Shakirin Ghazali. Stay with me as we dissect different topics with all kinds of people.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kia ora and very good afternoon. We are currently 3:48 p.m. in the afternoon, of course, in the beautiful Hagley Park, North Hagley Park in Christchurch, New Zealand. So this is our first episode of CMSA Podcast that we are having outside of a building.
Let's go.
So today we have two lovely, wonderful guests, which I will just say their names and they will introduce themselves more afterwards. So to my left is Aiman Amirul and to my right is Azhad Arif. So we move on to the introduction first. So I'll pass to Aiman.
Hey. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wearing mask.
Oh, do I have to take off my mask, man?
Yeah, we don't need mask here.
Okay.
Social distancing.
Alright. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kia ora Tefano. My name is Aiman Amirul Muni. I was born and raised in Johor Bahru, Johor. But now currently my family is in Kuala Lumpur. I've been here for the past 4 years now. I did my first bachelor's in photojournalism, and I just completed my graduate diploma in visual arts, majoring in photojournalism.
What do you say? Diploma?
Graduate diploma.
Wouldn't you say that you were
So
masters?
the easiest way of saying the easiest way of saying graduate diploma is a master's.
Oh, okay.
Because some people just don't. It's
Diploma.
yeah.
I see.
Yeah. It's
So
just
after masters was that? Graduate
so
degree?
I did my honors, and then I thought that I wanted to do 2 more extra papers that would so-called, it's like the art professional paper, artistic art professional paper, and hence that's why I did those 2 papers and did graduate diploma. Yeah.
I see. So how many years was that?
So I did my I did my honors for 2 years, and then worked for a year, and then this year I came back and finished 2 more papers.
Alright, that should be fine for now.
Mhm.
Is that all for the introduction?
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Why you chose Dunedin to study?
Phew. Why I chose Dunedin, huh?
Why?
Why?
Or you didn't choose, but you have been forced.
I technically I was working down in Kuala Lumpur, and the hustle and bustle of the city makes you just want to run away to a very quiet place. And with my parents saying that, okay, I mean, you should go back and study, and mom found this one place called Otago University. I was like, wow, I don't know where is it. So, but then because it was New Zealand at the end of the day, and it's like, all right, cool, let's try it out. And yeah, we thought that that was a great idea of running away from the city and just completely shut from everything else.
I see.
That was why.
Alright. So yeah. Thank you, Aiman. So we move on to our next guest, Azarif. Continue.
Alright, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kia ora. Hello everyone. Selamat sejahtera. Greeting in Malay. Alright, so my name is Azhar Arif bin Alias. So I'm 24 and I just finished my bachelor's of honors in psychology at the University of Otago. So I was born and raised in the heart of the city Kuala Lumpur, and yeah, simple and it's quite simple introduction because that's where I was from, and this was my first destination out of the country. And the reason why I chose Dunedin, well, technically I was forced to, but I personally preferred University of Otago because of its like, yeah, being down under and just being in the corner of the world. Like, it's just I don't know, and it's just a new experience, just living in one of the most remote city of New Zealand, where there's a lot of well, it's a small city, and I would be happy to just run away from the city for a while. That city life, that always busy. But yeah, never did I knew that it was quite loud actually down there. It was quite
Very loud.
yeah.
Very loud.
Being a studentville, like imagine a whole city full of students. Every Thursday night they'll be like, yeah, you can feel the beat like shaking your flat. Yeah, so it was quite an experience, I would say. Yeah. There you go.
Nice. So that concludes our first topic for the introduction. So I haven't addressed the audience yet of our main topics today. So our main topics today are Dunedin. The first topic. The second topic is photojournalism, which it will be covered by Aiman here. And the third topic will be psychology, and also by Azhar Arif to my right here. And also if we have time, we will discuss other interesting topics that these two people want to discuss. So, thank you for the two. So, we move on to the first topic, I guess, Dunedin, which was already being touched by both these gentlemen a little bit. So, the first one is, I would give this one to Aiman. Difference between living in Malaysia versus New Zealand.
I think
Interesting. Very interesting.
I think it's always a very interesting topic to talk about. I think especially being from Johor Bahru and also being exposed to Kuala Lumpur back in Malaysia. The size of population is totally different. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing that we can conclude. And but at the same time, there's no skyscrapers, there's no big malls, there's no big malls.
There are still malls.
I mean, look, we to compare with different shopping malls in Malaysia. I mean, it's totally different. I mean, it's a different ball game. But yeah, I mean, but if we want to talk about living in New Zealand, I mean, big cities like Christchurch, Tamaki Makaurau, Auckland, Wellington, those are big cities that you kind of have the same kind of vibe that you can find back home in Malaysia, and with multiple of communities around, ethnic. There's so many ethnic communities up in Auckland, up in Wellington. So kind of it's kind of the same as home, but at the same time, yeah, I can say that the size of population must be the biggest difference. I think so. Yeah.
Just touch on. I think Auckland has the Sky Tower. I think that is the tallest building in the southern hemisphere. I think I'm not sure about that, but we still have tall buildings here, and also I think one more difference is like weather. What do you think of the weather difference?
I mean, yeah, that's one thing that's for sure. That's for sure. Weather has always been totally different, especially being from Malaysia and going to Dunedin, right?
Yes.
I mean, if y'all know how Dunedin weather is, it's
Extreme.
it's a bit wild, sometimes,
Very.
there will be times that you're just walking and then suddenly there's hill, there's snow, and yeah. Shut up, bro. Chew. But yeah.
Embracing the result.
Yeah, weather.
Alright, thank you, Aiman, for the first question. We give the second question to Azhar here. So, what's special about Dunedin compared to other cities in NZ? If you have the chance to go into other cities.
Alright, so yeah, I've been to all. Fortunately, given the chance to travel around New Zealand, it's amazing. But specifically, Dunedin, it's just, well, the marketing of Dunedin tourism center, they call it. It's like Bali, but with wetsuits instead of like people being shirtless and all with their beach pants. I would say
Or Edinburgh with a twist.
yes.
Edinburgh
So it's a
with-
mixture. Yeah, because Dunedin actually has a Scottish heritage.
I see.
Yeah, from Edinburgh. So
So that's why
historically,
the university buildings.
yes,
Are that- is
some of
that
the structures.
Scottish?
I don't know. It's
Oops.
it's
Oh my god. Technical difficulties.
we got
outdoor challenges.
we're dealing with Mother Nature. We just have to deal with it, guys. I mean, it's nothing. You can't change Mother Nature, and we should take care of them, right? We should really take care of the nature, right? Asad,
Yes.
right?
Being responsible.
I'm taking a stand over here.
Being responsible
Taking a stand.
over your own actions.
Continue.
Alright, so yeah, it has that heritage like that. Even like in the middle of the uni, there's this one stone that came all the way from Edinburgh.
It's even called mini Edinburgh at the end of the day, right?
Yes.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So especially it has really nice beaches and like everywhere. I think like living there, it makes you appreciate all those local spots, and it might not be known to everyone, but if you know the spots, like if you know local communities that they have their own specific favorite spot where they go, just a random picnic or just a random because yeah, it's amazing actually down there. You just have to know the local community really well. Yeah.
Alright. So the next question is, I think both of you can answer this question.
Must go.
So for Aiman first,
Must go do.
in Dunedin.
Wow.
Make it short, like one or two.
I mean, I think like Azhar said, I mean, if you know the beaches, you know where to go. You will get some very nice views, and to be honest, I mean, there's so much to do outdoor, There's so much to do outdoor in Dunedin. You can go trekking, you can go surfing, There's so much to do actually, But you just have to. But you just have to. Just have to look. I don't know. I mean, yeah. I mean, I would say go to the beach. Yeah, go to the beaches, and I mean, Nugget Point is not that far away from Dunedin too. It's about 45 minutes away, something like that. It's the closest. I mean, it's such a beautiful place over there. I love it. I love the coastal lines, coastal road. Sorry, and that's one thing. I think that if you want to ask me one thing, I think I'll take beach. I'll take the beach. Yeah.
For me, I haven't like wandered around a lot in Dunedin, but I think the most
Yeah. What do you think as an outsider?
I think the most important I think is Otago University. It's very
Yeah.
very nice. Like the river,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can see the clock. I don't know. Is that the clock tower?
Clock tower, yeah.
Yeah, that's very beautiful. I'm amused by that. I think so. Or, of course, Highlanders, which is very near the university. For State Bar.
Let's just appreciate Shah, wearing the whole Highlanders.
You look like
Up the Landers.
Up the Landers, man.
Up the Landers.
Yeah, that.
So okay, so this is my personal favorite. It's called Friday Bakery. So maybe people who go to Dunedin might not have that chance to come across this bakery because they only open on Fridays. They only open once a week basically, and sometimes even that week they might choose not to open because they need rest. So imagine they have a store, they open as early as 5 a.m. and normally by 8 a.m. in the morning all the bakery goods are gone.
Mm-hmm.
So you can imagine this is one of the most important attraction. If you happen to be there between Thursday night and Friday morning, I suggest you go up there. Just search Friday Bakery through the Google search, and hopefully it'll lead you there. So what I love most about this place is that I think it's quite away from the Dunedin city, like just up the hill somewhere, and from there I suggest you get the almond croissant, and also you have to try the apple slice pie. It's amazing.
My man is giving the whole menu.
This is
My man is giving
is
the
a
whole
local treasure. They might not advertise this as much, not anywhere in the Dunedin website or whatnot. So I suggest you go because the almond croissant is filled with like gooey custard sauce, and it's amazing. So, and if you happen to go there, please come by Coffee Culture because from there actually you can
beautiful views up there. Huh?
yes,
Beautiful views.
amazing hot chocolate, amazing view. So a sunset, almond croissant, and a good hot chocolate is just the perfect way to start your day. So that is my personal locals favorite. So I would really encourage you if you happen to go well. So please go and support the local business. It's amazing.
That's totally. I think I want to follow up on that. I think local businesses, because of Dunedin being so small, it has an attachment with everyone around Dunedin. I think local businesses kind of know what people want, what the community want, but at the same time, the community knows businesses also. Like it goes around that, and people know each other, and people support each other. And yeah.
Sweet. So we go to Azhar
Yes.
again. I don't know if that's your favorite place to eat, but the next question is your favorite place to eat in Dunedin.
Okay, so amazingly, some you might not disagree, you might not agree with this, Shah, because I know you hate Harris Kitchen, but this is home. For me and Aiman, I have to tell you, we always go there together. Korean sweet and spicy pop chicken, I tell you. So imagine a plate served with rice, crisp a bowl of rice, crisp cut fries, salad, and just finger-sized chicken thigh cutlets, deep fried, and being poured over with some Korean sweet spicy sauce. So it's not out of this world kind of mind blown recipe, but for us it fills the tummy and it feels like just home. I mean, I don't know.
I think
Dunedin.
I think for me, it's because again, I will always throughout this conversation, we will hear me talk a lot about the size of the Dunedin. I think because of the size, you don't get much options, right? If you compare with options that you have, Shah, in Christchurch.
I would say we are not that much different in size.
No, your size is bigger, bro. Tell you because you have to understand the population of Dunedin itself is small because it's a student town. Once the student goes off back from summer, the town is dead. The town is North Dunedin, where most of the students are quiet. It's really quiet. You don't see you see a spot, a very big difference. So again, Harry's Kitchen is not the Vava Voom, the best, the creme of the creme, but it hits you right, the right at the spot where you just you don't mind having it again tomorrow. That's our opinion. That's just my
Maybe you can talk about the smash burger down there.
Oh yeah, I mean, again, like I said, local businesses, man. There's a lot of new upcoming local businesses such as shout out Comforts, shout out
Chicken
Comforts Diner, shout out Cooper's, good burgers. There's a new pizza shop down in Dunedin too. There's a lot of cafes, So, Comforts, Coopers, shout out to you guys. That's one. There's those two. Yeah. And also can't forget our local delicacy of flying squid. I mean, I think most students down at Otago will go to flying squid, and
It's a must.
and just buy chips over there, or fish and chips, or fried Oreos, fried Mars, or chocolate donut or whatever. So flying squid, that's one thing.
What's that?
Flying squid is a
Yes.
takeaway. It's a takeaway.
Student
Sorry about
takeaway.
that. Yeah, it's a student takeaway. It's right almost in front of the university, and they serve their shoestring fries, man. I'm a big shoestring fries guy, so
I just wanted to give my verdict on Harry's Kitchen. I don't say it's bad. It's good. I would say it's a 7 out of 10. The price is very reasonable. The portions are amazing. It's a lot, but it's not like mind blowing like Azhar said. It's good, but
I think
I have been to like 8 out of 10 restaurant. For example, I would say in Auckland is a Soul Kitchen.
So Shack.
No, it's
No?
Seoul, the capital of Korea. So
Oh. So
I don't know. So Kitchen, I think that one was probably like 8 out of 10. I would
Mhm.
say. Yeah, that is what I mean. So I didn't say that it's not good. So that's all for
fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough, Shark.
Okay. So we move on to study in Dunedin. So I would give this first question to Aiman. Tertiary institutions known in Dunedin, and they are like main courses that people come to
I mean,
that you know.
there's two main ones, right? There's one Otago University. I mean, and they specialize on a lot. There's a lot that they specialize on, right? There's medical, there's dentistry, pharmacies, law, politics, finance, obviously, arts, law. Have I said law? I mean, the list goes on. Psychology. Shout out, my man.
Amazing.
Otago University. And one more is Otago Polytechnic, where the courses are more hands-on, if I may say. I was a I am an alumni of Otago Polytechnic. It's yeah, they have more hands-on courses such as sculpture, art, uh, design. What else? What else? Physiotherapy, hairdressing, veterinary, hairdressing. The list goes on. It's more you get the idea of very hands-on courses. It's not much about books.
Not much about theories.
Yeah. There are theories.
Practical.
It's more hands-on, practical kind of courses.
I see. That's enough for that question. So, this one is for both. What was your typical year as a student of Otago Uni? I go ask that first.
All right. So you can expect that a typical life. So that's nature. I tell you, dogs.
It's a cute
ducks.
dog over
it's,
here.
It's amazing out here. Okay.
It's
So-
amazing. I
yeah.
love this area.
Yeah, this is
You're
happy
right.
part. All right. So being a student in Dunedin, in Otago Uni especially, you can already expect these trends and changes. Thursday nights will always be those like very very rough and not really rough. I guess like very busy and very loud nights. You can hear people like just shouting in the streets because they think they own the town. Drunk people everywhere. But yeah, sometimes it's nice to just observe and see the culture because it's just
Totally
how
different
they-
at the end
Can
of
I,
the day.
can I interject a little bit?
Yes.
Why is it people go wild on Thursday nights compared to Friday night? Like, they still have the Friday to go, but they went wild on Thursday.
Or they go hard on Friday too.
Yeah,
That's,
but they start on Thursday.
they start on they might some might even start on Monday.
Yeah, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken, I think StudyLink, one of the like their student loans, I think
Yeah.
they get their weekly allowances
I
on
see.
Thursday,
On
Yeah.
right?
Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If I-
Thursday?
if-
Yeah.
Was it Thursday, Wednesday, something like that?
Yeah.
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 So it's like a pre-drinking night for the
Yeah.
weekend, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of interesting that drinking culture already start kicking in on Thursday nights. Yeah.
Mhm. And especially when it's sunny.
Yes.
Look, when it's sunny in Dunedin, whew,
You wanna get
wow. No, I mean, not getting hammered, but it's a nice day to go out for a drink or two with your friends.
And also side note, Dunedin, you have to know, mostly during the transition between autumn and winter is depressing.
It's very
In terms of like
Yeah.
gray skies and just no direct sunlight. So one day of like blue skies and sunlight just shining through your eyes and like on your face, that warmth, I tell you, that is the time when people just pull out their couch outside of the flat and just enjoy and soak in the sun
Mhm.
with
True.
a
True.
bottle of beer and spikes. Yeah,
Shut
that's
up,
a local
space, man.
favorite, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Ta 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 ta.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. So you can already know that by the middle of the semesters that you don't really get people going to the library that much until the very end, where you can even find even a small inch of space in the central library.
True.
So to be like, for your information, like Otago Uni, they have 7 libraries, but unfortunately, like they can go all spaced out, like no more space available. So you know that there is a time when people are crammed with everything, and yeah, and also like people do take part-time jobs. As for me, like I'm a barista, so
Wow.
I make coffees. I appreciate coffee, to be exact. So it's nice working in a uni cafe and like being surrounded.
Latte art.
Yeah, some latte arts, like just shout out to Tumachiti Cafe. That's a Otago Business School cafe. So you have to happen to go and pass by that cafe. Please do go, and because they have a really brilliant like view. Imagine a wall of glass, and like you can see students just passing by the streets and like you can see Dunedin flats. Yeah, the uniqueness of it. So yeah, that's how my typical semester is like.
Hold on. So in Otago, obviously there will be 2 semesters, right?
Yes.
4 terms, 2 semesters, right?
4 terms in terms of before
Like,
and after summer break, semester break.
Semester.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's 4 terms.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
So I would like to ask one more. So when is the graduation ceremony for your university?
So we have 3 graduation ceremonies every year. That will be on May, September, and December. Yes.
September.
Don't we have
I think that's
earlier
like
than that? Do we have the March one?
No.
Oh, that's Otago Polytechnic.
Yeah.
That's Otago
Remember that?
Polytech.
We have winter. Yeah, winter, spring.
Yeah,
and
you
summer.
have winter.
No autumn. Yeah.
You have winter graduation, right?
Yes, that's right.
Otago Polytechnic is only December and March.
Yeah, same like Canterbury.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
we have December and April. I graduated
April.
this year, April.
Yeah. See, let's go.
Is that all?
Yes, that's my typical life.
Yeah, typical. So we move on to Aiman Amirul here. Your typical year as a student of Otago Polytechnic.
So I think my course, as I say, is more hands-on. When I was doing my honors, I was working at the same time. I was working with Kritik Teh Arohi, the Otago University student magazine. So typical typical week will be on Monday I'll go for an editorial meeting in the morning with my magazine, and in the afternoon I'll go for another meeting with my supervisor to go to update him on what I've been doing with my coursework, with my reading progress or whatever. And Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday has always been a working day for me. Has been working days, and on Thursday, especially on Thursday is print night for our magazine. So it's print night. So where that is the last night we edit stuff and get the magazine done for printing the next day. So that is the submission day of our articles, our stories and whatnot. And so on Friday I will go back to Polytech and go through what I need to go through with my supervisors. Ask them, are my readings correct? Are they suitable for my practice, for my art practice? And that's mostly a typical week for me. And because why I don't tell what happened after that is just that I'll just be at home. I will just be at home, and if I'm not home, I'll be in the office. So that's only 2 places that I go. That's my typical week.
So like, is it like Otago University where you have 4 terms and 2 semesters, or it's different?
Yeah, it's the same. It's just that our calendar starts a bit a bit later than Otago University, and our exams are a bit later just because
You are postgraduate.
no postgrad. I mean even degree students also later. Usually our final exams will be on the 20th November, somewhere there. That's
Where Otago already finished.
Otago finished quite.
That
I
must be
mean,
miserable.
yeah, no,
Seeing your friends already finished.
kind of, but at the same time, for me personally, it's just I'll cut them off in a way, and I'll just focus on my side because they are now just watching Netflix at home.
Yes.
You know, they're just watching Netflix. They're just waking up late which I want to do that. I want to do that, but again, if with the schedule that I have to and the things that I have to do, it makes it a bit more easier when everyone's finished and I'm the only one who hasn't finished.
Nice. So yeah, you already mentioned about the graduation ceremonies. So when did you graduate? Have you graduated?
I graduated in 2000.
For the degree?
I graduated in 2018. I graduated with my honors in 2019, and because of the current climate with COVID and whatnot, Otago Polytechnic has announced that they will cancel the December graduation, but will move it to, was it March, something like that? Yeah, they just emailed me a few days ago. So yeah, that's news for you guys.
Yeah, I think for Canterbury also, I think if we haven't moved into like level 1 in probably like now, there won't be the December graduation. So probably there's no December graduation this year for the University of Canterbury as well.
Yeah, that's tough, really tough.
It's a very tough climate that we're living in, but you know.
Scraping by life.
Yeah.
Yes.
I see. So yeah, thank you for Aiman and Azhar for that question. As a former student, would you recommend people to further studies here? If yes, can you explain one reason why? Start with you first.
Yes, just because it's hands-on, and if you're someone that is not too keen with theory practices, and you prefer more hands-on, more hands-on courses, Otago Polytechnic or any polytechnic up here in New Zealand, and to be honest with you, there's so many polytechnics up here in Aotearoa. So yeah, I think that's one thing, like, just it's more hands-on. I prefer to be more hands-on, but at the same time, there's don't get me wrong, I mean, even though there's hands-on, but you still have to learn theory. I mean, I learned about art theory, I learned about art history, which is but I like it. It was enjoy. It was it was a great time.
So, what you mean by hands-on? Is it like the lecturer has more time for you, or because of the students are less, or something like that, or just
So it's I what I say on hands-on is that it's not by the book that much, you know. It's more on what you want to do, because you, like me, say I joined the art school because I wanted to bring my photography to a very artistic point of view. We'll touch on that shortly, but I just wanted to take it to bring a fraction of photojournalism and also the art form of photography together, which is something that it's hard to learn by yourself. Photography you can learn by yourself. It's something that you can pick up, and you know, day by day you can learn, and most of us are still learning. But the art side of photography, you need some tuning in your head. Or that's why I like to say this. You need some tuning in your head and to understand the art perspective of photography.
how about employability? Is it easy for you to get employed, or I don't know?
I mean, I think work-wise, I think now every job is quite hard. I think especially journalism, I think that's one thing that time and time again, big businesses, corporations are taking over and owning different media outlets and cutting down different departments in news organizations. So it's not easy, and I bet a lot of other industries also go through the same thing.
Beautiful answer. So thank you, Arman. We move on to Azhar. As a former student, would you recommend the Otago University for further studies? And if yes, why?
All right. So personally, I think it depends. Okay. So no, sorry. I mean, okay. Otago Uni. The brilliant part of Otago Uni is they're really flexible in terms of your degree. They really want you to diversify. They really want you to. They really support you in terms of if you want to take care, for example, a major in chemistry at the same time you want a minor in music, for example, because it's your passion, it drives you forward. You are allowed to do that, and they want you to mix around as much as possible, and that's the whole the whole structure of how you wanted to get a degree in Otago Uni. And also in terms of student support and like being a student community, it's a really indulging experience to see them empowering students, especially being like OUSA, the student governing body of Otago Uni. They're quite an independent body in terms of they're not really attached to the uni. So whatever the student says, they go loud as possible. So I think Aiman knows.
I like that. I like that. Azad is talking about my employees better than me.
Oh yeah.
So my magazine is owned by Otago University Student Association. It's not owned by the university. So we get funding from the university, but at the same time, OUSA itself is a corporation entity. It's a corporation organization in itself. They look for sponsors. Our magazine itself have different sponsors that sponsors us and generate money to the association, and with that, money keeps on coming in, and different events are being organized for students. USA itself, I think, it's a very different student association. I think so.
True.
I think it's a very the student culture itself in Dunedin has kind of changed USA,
Yes.
right? I mean, USA now has to find ways to find a find a connection between them, student culture and the association.
Yeah, because if you think about it, imagine a city with students. The city council basically listens to OUSA.
True.
This is where they get their opinions from, like how, because even down there in Otago, like down there in Dunedin, they also have imagine one whole street of drunk people, one whole day. They have like Hyde Street party. So imagine like even the Dunedin City Council approves of this, as long as they don't really cause any any crimes or any major issues like burning couches too much, or as long as it is controlled and it's between the city council. So imagine how powerful the student organization is. And so if you want to really explore and like really explore that student life at the same time,
I think that's I think that's the biggest one. I think it's just that student life. I think going to Otago has a sense of that university, that student life kind of way, because it's so compact. It's there. It's that one patch of area.
And it's in the middle of the city.
It's,
just a bit up north.
yeah, just a bit up north, but still, it's everything resonates back to
It's an
the
ecosystem,
students.
basically. Like so I think at the center, if you have because they really have good access to technologies, and like I think the buildings, facilities are quite top notch for certain faculties. So if you happen to like your course that you're interested in is in Otago Uni, I suggest really go for it. And having a balance between student life and a good education is the way to go. Yeah, I really recommend that.
I just want to add on also about Otago Polytech, the hands-on part is that our lecturers trust us to do what is best for us. I think that's one key thing that I've learned so far, is that our lecturers don't just spoon fed us with different things every single day. You have to spoon fed them and to show that, you know, this is what you've learned. This is not, you know, they are there just to say, okay, this is just to make you understand it better. Which is, for some people, they prefer that. Some people prefer that, you know, instead of flipping through different pages. But again, not saying that art school is not tough, yeah, kids. So, you want to do painting and all those kind of thing, hey, you have to get ready with that.
Yeah, agree. I was having a train of thought, but it just went
You
blank.
forgot.
Just about what I said about like Dunedin University is in the middle of the city.
Mm.
Yeah, I think it's in the middle of the city compared to Christchurch. Like we have one in the middle of the city, which is the arts faculty.
Mm.
But our commerce, engineering, and right now they are just finished medical faculty.
Mm.
So
Yes.
Again,
they are a
yeah.
bit suburb. What do you call
Just
outskirts?
outskirts.
Outskirts of the city. So
again, because of because of the size, I think Christchurch, UC is very big. UC Canterbury itself is very big though. It's very big. Dunedin itself is very small. So to just have an area where students can so-called rule and determine whatever whatever they want over there. Look, Taco Bell is going to North Dunedin. They didn't go to Central Dunedin. Yeah? They chose North Dunedin because they know that's the place. You have KFC just a few doors, McDonald's a few doors away. You have Chinese takeaways, a few Chinese takeaways over there, a lot of pizza shops over there, and Taco Bell is joining the group. So it shows that Dunedin being small, and Otago being this one big organization, it just compiles everything, man.
Yeah,
It just
yeah,
compiles everything.
I agree.
alright. Okay, thank you for that. We move on to the next question. Do you both want to answer this question? Do you recognize any difference between studying in Malaysia and New Zealand?
I would say I would say that I am not the right person to answer this question, just because
You don't.
I only did tailors in Malaysia. I didn't go to any local universities or diplomas or whatever, and that's just I want to make that clear.
What about Azhar? Do you want to answer this question?
I think I heard a lot. I heard enough from my friends back in Malaysia on like the structure and like how, communication wise, it is very different in terms of your respecting. No, I mean it's just how they work with their hours. Because I think back in Malaysia, I think it's very normal for lecturers to add in their students into a WhatsApp group. And imagine students can just ask, and probably, I don't know if they call their lecturers at 2 a.m. in the morning if they decide to like leave their assignment on the last minute, on the 11th hour. But I think that difference here is that there are more designated hours, and I think it's more that work-life balance is integrated well in also in that education culture in New Zealand. So I guess in that sense they're very disciplined about when they stop, when they do their work, and weekends off, that's very important. But yeah, at the same time, learning experience. Well, I think maybe in Malaysia it's quite what you call a taboo to call your lecturer by their first name
Yeah.
basis, there's first name basis kind of thing. In that said, you respect their work more than the title. So normally you address your questions and like being connected better with your lecturer. But at the same time, having a professional boundary, because of like respecting their hours. Yeah. So I guess in that case it can be different. But just so you know that in Sago Uni, normally your degree doesn't come with a final year project kind of thing. Yep. So you have to do that independently, honest. That's why I took honest, because I wanted experience like being hands-on with research and everything. I really love that. So that's hence why I was here. I'm here for the whole year for honest. So because of that diversity, like they want us to pursue more in terms of like open the scope of like what you want to study in. They sacrifice that part, like being having a final year project, because you have to make time for your other papers as well. So they respect that in terms of, yeah. So in terms of that, yeah, it can be a quite different experience. Yeah, but just for that, yeah.
Interesting. I'm really attracted to the, like, they are open to diversify the degree, because I think in Canterbury we don't really have that much, especially among the Malaysian students. We usually, like, if you want to do double major, if you are Bachelor of Commerce, you probably go accounting, finance, or for me is I'm an accounting major and I have a minor in information systems, which is still in the commerce world. So yeah, it's interesting if you can, like, engineering arts. That's quite interesting. And
Yeah,
they encourage that.
that's always something that a lot of Malaysians tell me. Oh, very different, huh? Very different. Everyone else doing engineering, everyone else doing
Exactly.
finance and whatnot. You're doing arts, huh? Oh, very interesting. That's not something that, yeah, that's all I've encountered some.
Yeah, I think that's probably it for the study in Dunedin. Do you guys
Come
have
on.
any other things to add? No?
Well, quite interested to listen to Ayman's photojournalism journey, because
No.
it's something that you
No.
that listeners have to.
Come on, come on.
Yeah.
We
Still.
actually don't have much time to
Ah,
prepare.
I will conclude it in one go.
Okay, go. Okay, the first question.
Why did you
Why
pursue
did
this
you
area?
pursue? Yeah, what inspired you and favorite part of studying that?
So my first degree was in, okay, this is what I usually was this is my introduction to people whenever they ask me why photojournalism. Yeah, I did political science for my first degree in Melbourne, in RMIT University, 2014 till 2016, and then I took a gap year back to Malaysia in 2017. I was an intern photographer for Malaysia Kini, and I worked with them for about a year, and I came back to studying because my mom asked me to finish up studying. Hence, that's why I'm here. Why I pursue this? Because political science was something that I've always been a fan of. I love the idea of seeing politics as science. You know, thinking about what's the next move, or thinking about politics in a very dynamic way, and but I felt that I wasn't smart enough, and I felt that I couldn't write theses over theses and over theses, but I still want to be part of the so-called political culture or government culture. So hence I had an interest of photography, and I said that, and I'm a fan of writing, so that's why I said, okay, let's combine together. And I grew up, and I think most of us grew up in a time where new digital media is being shown to us. You could see television news and all showing images and such as like the 9/11 tower, and so much more, so much more photos. And I grew up seeing all that, and being fan of a news, I can write. I love writing, and so I thought that, being with the media, at least I can be the middle person between the government and also the citizen, to let the citizen know what's going on with the people in power. That is why that's why I did photojournalism.
Okay, can you explain in the simplest way?
What is photojournalism? Journalism with photos.
Yes, nice.
That's the easiest way to say. I take pictures of news events, or any other stories, events, and the point of view is a very news or documentary point of view.
Can you let the people know what your work, where they can see your work?
This analogy.
I have went to your, I think your website.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting, but it's not
That-
really updated.
That's not updated at all.
Yeah.
That's not updated at all. I at the moment I'm working on my still working on my updating my website, but I share my photos a lot on Instagram. Shout out to my Instagram if you guys wanna go and see photos that I try to take. And I also, like I said, I'm the photographer for Kritik Teorohi, the Otago University's student magazine. That is where most of my photos are. They're being published, and also I do a bit of freelance. Also, I do for Astrawani, Malaysia Kini. I do for Getty Images also. So that's where you can find me, I guess. I'm always on social media, and I'll share a lot on social media. I think social media is a place where I've gained so much. What do you call that?
Cloud.
Cloud, man. Shout out clouds, bro. Gain a lot of inspiration from Instagram. There's a lot of photographers using social media to share their photos, and yeah, that's one thing. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
one.
I think one of like, I think the best analogy for Ayman, so like I think he shares a lot of these photos, and I think I read one of the posts as well. It's like, imagine if you're a photojournalist, if people run away from tornadoes or forest fires, like in Australia, photojournalists dive into those forest fires to capture what it needs to be seen for the world to know what is it really like out there living the lives of people.
I think people who know me know that I will try my best to get that photo. I was, if it's raining, I'll stay outside, and if it's snowing, I'll be outside. Because everything happens, it's something for you to photograph. And especially with the world that we are living in, where social media is just being scrolled up like crazy.
Updated every second.
Yeah, it's non-stop scroll, so you kind of have to find a way to attract something to your readers, so yeah, I hate talking about what I do.
Why?
I hate it. No, because I can't conceptualize what I do. It's because one is, again, I've only been working in this industry for about 4 years now, up to 5 now, and I'm still learning. I'm still learning day by day. Still trying to replicate different idols, different people that I call teachers, and it's something hard to conceptualize.
Anyone in particular that you look up to?
Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot. There's a lot. I can't. I can't.
Okay.
I can't. But I mean, people who I'm just interested with people who take social issues or things that matters to to people seriously. They take it to the limit and to show people visually what's going on. So yeah, anyone. Yeah.
I guess these questions can be piled up into one. Career prospect as a photojournalist, and do you have any career ambitions or target or any stories?
Career prospect. I mean, again, with the futurization of digital media, and especially um, the so-called the end of print media, career prospect is kind of hard now. It's kind of hard. It's really hard, especially if you come from a photographer point of view, from a photographer background, and you don't have any video background right now. It's kind of hard for you to look for a job, and especially being like me, where news organizations need more photographer, but at the same time they need a videographer too. So photographer come to videographer now, So it's not that easy, It's but lucky that we are in New Zealand, Aotearoa, where those culture, those tradition, print media is still being upheld. People still love to read magazines over here, man. They love to read their magazines over here. Newspapers are still selling things, as newspapers are still selling over here. So we are quite lucky and to be in a country where they still appreciate those kind of things. Career ambitions. I just want to show people what's going on. There's nothing cliche that I could say. I used to say that I want to make a change or something. Yes, I would like to make a change, but at the same time, I just want to inform people what's going on. The good, the bad, the happy, sad. That's just and the truth. To be honest with you, let's be the truth. Because now, especially with whatever that we're going on, also with the world, truth is hard. Truth is hard to find. You have to check multiple times sometimes, to get something published, because you don't want to factually incorrectly tell someone's story. You just don't want that. So yeah, my ambition or target is just to tell honest stories, and ask very hard questions to people. I think that's my ambition and target. Particular stories that you want to cover, again, like I said, I mean, my bio is like this. Aiman Amirul Munir is a photojournalist and documentary photographer with an interest in social issues, politics, and breaking news. Those are the three things that I want to cover. So yeah.
You don't interested in covering sports or something?
I love to though. Sports, again, I play golf. So the dream. So if you ask me as a photographer, yes, you are asking me as a photographer. But if I come back to reality, my dream is always to come back to golf photography, because I grew up playing golf and seeing different pictures being shown every single day of different golfers. It will be like a full swing if one day I can just be a golf photographer instead of, and enjoy the game that so many people misunderstood.
Do you want to elaborate on that?
Yes, golf is a corruption game. Yes, I understand that, guys. I understand there are a lot of messed up people playing golf, and a lot of messed up policies, government deals and whatnot being thrown out of the golf course. But golf is such a beautiful game at the end of the day, without this all this betting, all this corruption and whatnot. It's a game where you test yourself, and it's between you and the cost. Nothing more than that. It's a very selfish game, but it's such a beautiful game. It will test you like crazy.
You mentioned corruption. Is it in international level or just national?
I mean, yeah, you kind of see I'm talking about the idea of golf. Some people say that golf is an elite game, which is true, which is definitely true. You need a lot of money to play golf. That's definitely true. But at the same time, it's not being said that you can't enjoy it. You know, and especially being in Aotearoa, this country embrace golf. You can just go to a driving range and play, or if you have a second-hand golf club, you can just walk to a golf. You can just play at a golf course over here. So it's not an elite sport. Yes, it's an elite sport here, but at the same time, there are choices for people to come out and enjoy this game.
You're just a fan of the purity of the game itself. No?
I play golf since I was 5. I grew up playing golf, so golf has always been a sport for me. Some people like rugby, some people like football, by all means. But golf is my sport until today, bro. Until today. My girlfriend, Azhar, most of these people would know that if I am not at the house, I'll be at a golf club. Because that is, for me, that's my sport. That's my sport. And like you said, I treat golf, the purity of golf is such a beautiful game. You can hit a beautiful drive, but at the same time, if you miss a 3-foot putt for birdie, it still hurts, bro. It still freaking hurts. So yeah.
So thank you, Aiman, for the beautiful elaboration of the answers.
Elaboration of what I do and what. Yeah, in a way, it's like an elaboration of who is Aiman. I think that's the proper intro, I guess.
Alright. So we move on to Azhar.
Oh wow.
Who we have been psychology. So obviously Azhar already just finished his honors studies, and we move on to the first question. Why did you pursue this area? What inspired you?
Let's go.
Holy, where do I begin? Alright, so to be honest, I started out being interested with this research field because of my auntie. Shout out to Prof. Zalina Ismail. She retired as one of the most known neuroscientists in Malaysia. So she is really interested in cognition, and especially like relations between the brain and the behavior and how we think as a general, but in a medical point of view. Those are how the brain works. Like this is really neurology studies, like looking at parts of the brain, how it is connected essentially. So what sparked my interest was this one study that I helped her with. So basically, she compared the cognition performance between orang asli, which is an indigenous community in Malaysia, and compare them with urban area students, right? So they also compare like adult populations as well. So what they found was that yes, there was a significant difference between like cognitive performance between adults in among orang asli community and also urban areas, but among students at age 8 and 9 and till 12 years old, there wasn't any much difference. So what it means is that we all start the same place, but where do we go from there? And to never discredit how an orang asli functions as a general. in terms of like how they adult, how they grow up, because we need to also acknowledge the culture differences. What is considered for us to be smart as an adult right now in the 21st century maybe could be about, I can do research, I can go to uni, I can read, but for an orang asli is to survive, is to being able to hunt, knowing to act on instincts, knowing things in nature that can just signal, oh, maybe there's a deer running around here. Imagine that is, for me, intelligence is a spectrum. I mean, not a spectrum. It's a wide area of knowledge that, so it can't be just quantified by what degree you're holding. I disagree on that, because whoever you are around the world, there is, to be a human and to be surviving and to be experiencing happiness, being content with who you are, is the essential important part of psychology, knowing how that mind works. And what I think about the world might be different from what you think about the world, and that's how I built my perception from all the experience I had through life. So that is how I got into psychology. I just can't be more and more philosophical about this, because it is kind of is. So that's how I began. So favorite part of studies. So I started out with interest and cognition. Basic cognition, what it means is that how we think in general. But now I'm more interested in developmental psychology. What it means is that the study of growth, the study of change throughout your life, and that is who I want to become. That's who I aspire to become. Being a specialist, and like I think. In Malaysia, we need a lot more of that right now.
Alright, very beautiful symphony of words by Azhar.
He's more artistic than me.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Definitely. So, beautiful answer for that. So, explain in the simplest way what psychology is.
Okay, psychology is essentially imagine what we see in the world right now. And I'm not sure if you have seen a photo of they compare what a human see and what a bird sees, because a bird can process more and more like wide spectrum of waves, electromagnetic waves. So they see more colors than human. So imagine what the difference in how the brain works between a human and a bird is already apparent in terms of vision wise, right? But so human minds everywhere across the world, and like this increasing understanding or increasing like popularity, more like talking about mental health. It shows that, for example, like schizophrenia or psychosis or maybe depression or anxiety, their belief system and what they see is different from us. It's unfair for us to compare. Oh, maybe the what you call it, bahasa pasar, what you call it in English, the colloquial term of like what maybe we call, oh, he's crazy.
I can't even say that word, bro.
Or dia gila. I think it's just a culture for us to call someone homeless and someone wandering around the city under the bridge. Sure. We call them gila, but crazy. But the thing is, they need help more than anyone. Because they need assistance in how they see the world. Because this is not only in terms of their perception, but how their brain functions are already different from what us normal human beings are, in terms of not normal, it's just typical. Because there is that field of psychology called abnormality of psychology, but they need help, and I think that needs to be addressed. So that's psychology, basically understanding how different people think.
Nice. So we have done the second question of psychology. So we move on to the third question, which is pre-departure study. You wanna tap into that?
Sure.
So Azhar, talk about pre-departure studies.
Alright, so I did A-levels at KYS International School, College Yayasan Said International School, which is actually non-existent right now. They closed the school already. Yes. So If you
Actually,
Google,
can I so yeah, Kaisik we call Kaisis?
Yeah.
Kaisis, yeah, Kaisis. We already have Adul. Do you know Adul?
yes,
Yeah. Adul already have been here. Yeah, I think only he has been in this podcast, so yeah. Continue.
So yeah, I did A levels. On the first year, I did 4 subjects: economics, psychology, math, and biology. Then the second year, I dropped economics just because I need to focus on the three main interests that I have. And Alhamdulillah, I scored pretty well, and it led me to today. And it was a really good exposure in terms of giving me the exposure to the most popular psychology studies in the world. Like if you know Freud and all his crazy theories about psychosexual theories, or like phallic stage, anal stage, it's really weird. But that was a pioneer. Yeah.
Alright. Can I ask you your education provider? Are you a scholar? Are you a scholarship receiver?
Yes, I am. I'm a JPA scholar, and to this very day, and very thankful for them. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out GPA.
Shout out GPA. Shout out
Even though
GPA.
I not really
You're not from
beneficial.
GPA.
No, yeah. But my sister got GPA. Yeah, career prospect as a psychologist. Pretty much your ambition and target and something like that.
All right. So career prospect, a wide range. But just so you know, if you want to be called a psychologist, you have to do a postgrad study, especially in applications of psychology studies, and there is a degree on that, master's degree. Sorry, yeah. So basically, normally, if you graduate with a bachelor's or bachelor of honors, even though you might not progress as well as maybe if you want to be in a psychological field practicing, it might not be suitable for you because you're not qualified yet. But all the skills that you like from a graduate in psychology, all those skills in terms of observational skills, data analysis. Because to be honest, even though psychology is all about theories and those knowledge and reading and writing, it has a lot to do with statistics because you can't really define a behavior if you don't have a concrete measure of like what you are trying to measure, like what you're trying to see in terms of behavior. So that was one of the reasons why I did a minor in statistics, because it kind of prepared me for future job prospect as well in terms of data analytics. I think data is the future.
Yes.
Data science, if you research about it, it's all about using numbers to predict human behavior, and it is what I use until now. I think the whole reason why I got this honors project was also because of the things that I learned in statistics. So yeah, it led me to understand behaviors better, and also I think there's a clarification. I think this is a popular question among people. What is the difference between psychiatrists, psychologists, and a therapist? Right. So just to clarify, psychiatrists, they have a medical background. They prescribe and they know the biological, like the neurological foundation of a brain and how it works and how it changes how you behave. Right. So normally they deal with a lot of critical cases that are life threatening. For example, schizophrenia or yes, that's right, dementia, Alzheimer's. That's all in psychology, and understanding how the hippocampus, the memory palace of the brain, how it works. So how is that different from clinical psychologists? Yes, so both psychiatrists and clinical psychologists, they can diagnose, right? But clinical psychologists, they don't really have that background of like that medical structure, like understanding the brain. Yes, they do have a basic foundation of knowledge, but normally they are more into being the first-hand receiver of like patients, of like diagnosing, and they are aware of the test that needs to be done and also the sessions that needs for patients to go through for them to really have a picture of like what's going on.
In a way, it's like GP, yeah.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
Like
Yeah.
it's a GP, and then a psychiatrist is like a specialist.
Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Psychiatrist is a specialist in terms of like medical branch, right? So clinical psychologists, they come up from psychology background. So from a clinical psychologist perspective, only then they know what it could be the best treatment, and then what could transition them from that state, from unwell being state to a better state. So they can decide what course of treatment could be suitable for them, right? So that is essentially clinical psychologist. Then therapist then will have to is the mediator, is the helper for clinical psychology, so that the treatment can be more ongoing, because there are a lot of treatments and medicine, and also diagnosis is not the only one. So there are therapy like cognitive behavioral therapy, acceptance therapy, or in certain cases hypnot. I'm not sure if it's used really popularly, probably used until now, but hypnotism was once to be like known to be that form of therapy as well. So yeah, essentially those are the three differences. Essentially,
What
yeah.
about counseling?
Yes, counseling is also part of therapist.
Therapy.
Yes, because counseling, they also have skills. Because they need to be certified for a certain type of treatment for them for them to use. So normally that's how the more diversified the skills that they have in terms of like what kind of therapy they can apply to different patients. So that's how they can be more fluid in terms of how they can mix and match different type of therapy, so that patients can be more well suited for what they need in terms of like to handle, and hopefully change how they think. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. Nice. So this question is a bit out of
Interesting.
a bit out of the box. I don't know, because this was brought up by my friend, which is Amira Shakira. He asked me to ask Azhad that if Azhad, can you read other people's mind?
Maybe not mind, but behavior. I guess. Well, it's not really. I can read and change your mind like Professor X. Well, I wish I can. Like finding all the mutants out there. I don't know, but I think what this degree has equipped me with is observational skills, and like not putting myself, but understanding someone else's perspective as different from mine, and to appreciate how other people like see the world. And I think that's a lot to do with listening and like just be in the moment and connect with people.
Putting yourself in other people's shoes.
That is one of the most known idioms, but for me, I think then there needs to be a tweak in terms of the idiom, because how you see, and like you can't really just put yourself in someone's shoes, because their past history might be just so different from who we are. Like maybe they've gone through trauma, or like maybe hardships in the past that you can't even explain how it feels, because sometimes it's just there are unspoken truths about someone that they just can't bear to go back, and that might have shaped who they are and their life story in general. Yeah.
Nice. So I hope Amira Shakira is satisfied with the answer.
Hopefully.
Yeah, so we basically have been to the end of the podcast, and I don't want to tap into the extra questions because we have already passed the time.
Please don't. I don't like that. I don't
If
like
we are going to go into the question, it's gonna be very long.
I don't like that.
Another half.
You don't like?
Wow. We'll be here quite long.
So yeah. So outro. We start with Aiman first. Shout outs and like a short message to our audience.
First thing first, shout out to my parents, family at home. Kia ora te whānau. my lovely girlfriend somewhere in Christchurch. I don't know where she,
Which I invited.
but she's she's she doesn't she
Another time.
maybe another time. Shout out to everyone. Shout out to the frontliners. Shout out to people who have gotten their double vax. Shout out to people who have gotten their first vax. Don't forget your second vax. Shout out to people who still scan the QR codes. Wear your mask, and just keep yourself together. Take care. Be nice to each other. Say no to anti-vax.
Alright, thank you, Aiman. Azhar?
Alright, so first of all, my parents, my family who has been supporting me all along, JPA, thank you for this opportunity, for another year being in this amazing country. Shout out to my girlfriend, my love of my life, Shafiqa Afrina. She's back home and currently really patiently waiting for me to get back. So then, Professor Eileen Rees, without you, I wouldn't see the world that I can see it right now, and thank you for guiding me and being there for me for all the hardships that I've been through just one whole year. Then Prof. Zalina Ismail for continuously inspiring me all the way, and it's just amazing how 3 weeks can really change how I want to live my future. And this has been just like an amazing opportunity. So campus and everyone, shout out everyone in Dunedin who has made my life better. And thank you so
Shout
much.
out to Uti Puti, man.
Yeah,
Shout out
yeah.
to Uti Puti.
But
I think
of course, Shah and the gang are down at Lincoln Street.
shout out.
Lincoln Road.
Lincoln Road, Eddington. Any
think-
special message?
I think this needs to be told, needs to be shout out. Shout out to Sharp for organizing this podcast. I mean, it's a wonderful day. I mean, it's we traveled quite far, and I mean to enjoy a sunny day, having a chat outside like this. I mean, it's always nice. Shout out to the boys at home. Shout out to the girls at home, the girl bosses, at home, and again, keep yourself safe. Take care of each other. Love one another. Say no to anti-vax, man.
Alright, thank you everyone. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.